Yo, what's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and today we are giving some love to a certain player on the New Jersey Devils. This is a kid that has faced some adversity through the start of his career. He was being compared to some other players that were drafted not too far down the road in New York, and he's kind of carved out a pretty good career so far. And as crazy as it sounds, this season he's going to hit 200 games in the National Hockey League. It's unbelievable. But today we're taking a look at the turnaround of the New Jersey Devils being led by one of their, dare I say, leaders now on the roster, Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes, 21-year-old kid in his, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is his fourth season in the National Hockey League. You guys have to remember the context of where he came from. His first season was the 2019-20 season. He played 61 games for the Devils that year. He put up 21 points, a career low, minus 26 in that stretch. And the Devils were not very good, but he was in the running there. He had a really tough season. Everybody said he put up career low numbers for a first overall pick. He faced a lot of adversity, and the Devils were not very good. And there was a lot of questions about, is this kid a bust? Nobody wants to throw that word around, but they're kind of showing the signs of maybe a bust. And then everybody was expecting, okay, well, things can't get any worse in year two. And they did get better. Some kids have that really good first season. Teams start to pick them apart in the off season and get some good video on them. In year two, they have that quote-unquote sophomore slump. Not necessarily the case in Jack Hughes. He kind of has just built things up steadily year by year. And he never has had that quote-unquote slump. In year two of his career, during the pandemic, can't say the other words because this video will have issues. 31 points in 56 games in year number two for Jack Hughes. So in 5 less games, he put up 10 more points. I think Devils fans would take that. Again, the Devils still struggled that season. He ended up getting 40 votes for the Lady Byng that year and was in the running for that trophy. So now he's starting to get some maybe prestige for being a good sport and things like that and having a cool head. That's kind of part of that, not taking a ton of penalties. That was Jack Hughes. Now we get to year three of Jack Hughes, which was last season. And this was kind of his breakout year. In less games than the other 2 years, in 49 games, Jack Hughes put up career numbers in goals and assists and, of course, points. In a shortened season for him. Again, only playing 49 games, had some injury issues last year. He picked up 26 goals, 30 assists for 56 points with the New Jersey Devils last season. To put that in context, his first 2 seasons fully in New Jersey, he put up 18 goals and 34 assists, which he put up way more goals in last season in its whole and put up 30 assists, which compared to his first 2 seasons combined, 34 assists in those first 2 years together. So a really good third season for Jack Hughes to kind of leap him into this season. And at the ripe old age of 21 years old, in year 4 with the Devils, 22 games in, the Devils are a top 5 team in the NHL standings. Consistently, first or second best, depending on how the Bruins are doing that day. They are a top 2 team in the NHL standings. Jack Hughes has 11 goals, which is tied for his numbers in year 2 with the Devils over an entire season. 14 assists, which is the same number of assists he put up in his first full season with the Devils. Mind you, this season in only 22 games. And 25 points in 22 games. Absolutely incredible. This is a really nice story, a feel-good story. And at this point, again, long season ahead, this is the first time he has had a plus in the plus-minus column this season, which means he's got good line mates. He's playing on a good line that's producing more goals than they give up. His average ice time has continued to grow. He was averaging a little under 16 minutes of ice time in year 1, and since then has been averaging over 19 minutes of ice time per game. So this is a guy, like I said, 188 games in his career already, which is just mind-blowing. The fact he's been in the NHL now for his 4th season, that's crazy to me. But that's how this stuff works. He's really been a kid that has matured, and it's really nice to see a guy that had so much adversity in his first year with the Devils, and they're not very good, and this kid is not good enough. He's not big enough. He's 175 pounds, 5'11", skinny, scrawny kid. He's not aggressive, but here he is putting up career numbers. And again, I think it's kind of telling with what he did the other night against the Capitals, scoring a hat trick, and already has goals 9, 10, and 11 on this season this year for the Devils. It's been an exclamation point on what has been an incredible start for not only the New Jersey Devils, but kind of a shout out to Jack Hughes, the kid that in his first 2 years was already being called a bust, has come to life. And it shows to you that, yeah, you know what? Some of these guys don't necessarily develop that great in the beginning of their careers. But if they're mature enough and they're able to weather that storm, they become really good hockey players. And it's kind of a lesson for maybe some of you younger, guys and gals out there playing the sport of hockey, not even just in the sport of hockey, but just life in general. You're going to face adversity. And I think that we're seeing right here with Jack Hughes a really good example of someone for younger people to look up to. And I think it's really exciting to see how he's kind of turned his career around. And maybe Lindy Ruff was just the right guy to come in. But again, he's been there for a couple of years now. So it's not even necessarily Lindy Ruff. I think you got to give credit to the source itself, which in this case is Jack Hughes. And it doesn't hurt that Nico Hischier has been healthy. It doesn't hurt that he's gotten some line mates that can score around him, producing. That's obviously a factor here. But it's really nice to see the turnaround of him and giving him props where it's due. So let me know what you guys think down below. Main question, would you consider Jack Hughes a superstar in the National Hockey League at this point? I think he is. It's now been 2 years where we've seen Jack Hughes really start to turn that dial up. And if he has a really good season this year and continues this for a full 82-game schedule, hopefully, the Devils are going to be cooking with a kid that could be in the conversation for potentially, again, depends on how things go. This is a guy that could potentially be in the running for one of those bigger awards this season. And maybe he doesn't win the Rocket Richard. He's not going to be maybe in that conversation. But you look at the Lady Byng, you look at the Art Ross, you look at some of those awards, Jack Hughes could be in the running for that. So let me know what you guys think, as always, down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys again next time.